Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you all for joining us this evening. Jody, could you call the roll, please?
Dennis.
Here.
Harold.
Here.
Hollenbaugh.
Here.
Odoricio.
Here.
Phipps.
Here.
Robinette.
Here.
Sherry.
Here.
All right. Prior to this evening's meeting, the minutes from our meeting on July 1st were distributed for your perusal. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, properly moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. We have a special recognition this evening. Mr. Mayor.
Good evening, everyone. It really is my pleasure this evening to present a very special award and recognition of a person very dear to many of us, very dear to many people in the Bowling Green community. I'm so pleased this evening to see that some of Sandy Rowland's neighbors and friends and neighbors are able to be with us. And it certainly is my pleasure to introduce Lindsay Jo Durham, the chair of the city's Human Relations Commission, and Heidi Pierce, Sandy Rowland's daughter. So it really is my pleasure this evening to present to Heidi a honor roll award that's being presented to Sandy from the Human Relations Commission of the City of Bowling Green. So I'm going to take a minute and read this presentation, if you don't mind. The Honor Roll Award is presented to Sandy Rowland. The Honor Roll Award applauds individuals, organizations, and local businesses who work to promote diversity, to improve the well-being of persons in need, and to make the Bowling Green community a welcoming place for all people. In recognition of a career dedicated to making the Bowling Green community a better place for everyone, we present this award to Sandy Rowland, who has honored all of us with their service. And this award is signed by myself as the mayor and Lindsay Jo as the chair of the Human Relations Commission. So I hope that Heidi, you will accept this on behalf of the city and the Human Relations Commission, and please accept also our regards for your mother and all of her contributions to the city of Bowling Green. Thank you. Lindsay, do you have anything to add?
I know personally how much your mom embraced and celebrated diversity, and in today's world where so many of us are divided by our differences, she really was a beacon of unity. So I hope we can all follow her example and create an environment where everyone feels welcomed and respected.
Thank you so much for honoring my mother tonight with the Honor Roll Award. I just wish she were here to accept it. I just hope that her memory is a cause for inspiration for those still working to create inclusive communities, and that they continue that work, and that she inspires them. Thank you.
Very good.
Right now.
Oh,
There we go.
There you go. I was going to say, hopefully that microphone's working.
Yes, exactly. Rose Drain.
If you could give your name and address for the record, please.
I'm Rose Drain of 228 East Court Street. I want to congratulate the city administration, council, and Mayor Asbacher for securing a $500,000 grant from the state of Ohio for safe routes to schools. I appreciated seeing the mayor's comment in the Sentinel Tribune article on July 13th reporting on the success when Mayor Osbacher said, Bowling Green is committed to taking the long-term steps necessary to activating the community through multimodal pedestrian connectivity solutions. Well, another article on June 18th prompted me to consider the project that is currently underway on South Main Street. The article in The Independent that date said that the shared use path for bicycles was going to go only from Napoleon Road to Gypsy Lane Road. And the project footprint is from Ordway to Gypsy Lane. So my question was, why not have all of that be safe for cyclists as well as motorists? Also, regarding bicycles and safety and recent paving projects, there is an opportunity right now. West Worcester Street is a stretch that where bicycle and infrastructure improvements could easily be implemented because striping has not been done along that. There's been recent repaving of South Maple along Sandridge Road. Haskins Road and Conneaut could also be considered. I believe there are plans perhaps to add Sharrows to Pearl and Gypsy Lane, and those streets seem to be particularly good for that sort of bike safety infrastructure because there's no parking allowed along those streets. A friend who's also an advocate for pedestrian and bicycle safety suggested that a winning combination for the city would be education of motorists and enforcement of speed limits, and also for citizens to consider to adopt an attitude of consideration for the well-being and safety of all, walkers, riders, and drivers. I'm encouraged that City Council is making progress on its strategic goals for 23 and 2024 regarding complete streets, and I'm looking forward to seeing legislation when it's introduced. Councilman Dennis, I contacted him as Sustainability Committee Chair regarding my concern about this issue, and I also contacted Councilman Bill Harold as Chair of the Safety and Transportation Committee. And Councilman Dennis told me that there is currently a Main Street Bicycle and Pedestrian Improvement Study currently underway by the Manick Smith Group, so that's great. I just hope that the Ordway, if that study doesn't come in on time, I hope that the Ordway to Gypsy Lane Road will be considered. Another idea that came to mind in considering the stretch from Napoleon Road to Gypsy Lane Road is the fact that that is currently a treeless and graceless entryway into the city. So before plans are firmly in place, I hope that the city arborist, City Council, the Tree Commission will consider adding to the beauty, the environmental benefit of tree canopy along that stretch and improving that currently ugly way into our lovely town. So please consider taking advantage of these opportunities to add bicycle safety features to the city's infrastructure and trees along a currently unfortunate-looking way. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
That's everyone.
Okay. That brings us to the introduction of new legislation.
Mr. President,
Mr. Robinette.
from the Finance Committee, I have an ordinance providing supplemental appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio during the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2024 and ending December 31, 2024. I will just add that this piece of legislation, this appropriation, includes a $100,000 appropriation for the safety facilities study that's authorized in Ordinance 9206, which we will be voting on tonight. So this puts a price on that particular piece of legislation.
Okay. That brings us to official reports. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, Council. I just have a couple of quick items. First of all, I wanted to share my appreciation to Finance Director Dana Pinkert for her presentation to the city or to the Council Finance Committee before this meeting. The takeaway from that meeting is that the city is on solid financial ground, and there is continued reason for optimism as it relates to the city's finances. Secondarily, I wanted to provide a shout out to the city's water and sewer distribution group. Many of you aren't likely aware that there was a water break in the city over the weekend. Of course, it occurred at just after midnight, Friday night / Saturday morning. Of course, that can never happen at noon on a Tuesday. I got the call about the water break just after midnight, and the crews rolled out of bed, worked throughout the night, throughout the day. The repair was made, and it's my understanding that water was out of service for a very limited number of apartment buildings in the area for about 1 hour while the repair was made. So I think that that's just another example of the skill and expertise of one of our city divisions, and I think we all owe them a shout out of appreciation for their work. Finally, Firefly the festival on this Friday evening. I'm sure Lori might likely be talking more about that, but encourage everyone to get out and enjoy another one of these opportunities to gather as a community and enjoy the beautiful evening. That concludes my report. Question or subject any questions that you may have.
Anyone have any questions for the mayor?
Yeah, Mr. President.
Go ahead.
Do we have any updates on the Mannequin Smith study? What's the estimated completion date for that?
You're talking the Main Street study?
Yes.
That work has begun. Mannequin Smith is working on that. I believe that they are obligated to have that report back to the city August, I'm sorry, yeah, by the end of August. So that work should be concluded. We'll assess it and then prepare ourselves to present that to City Council.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other questions for the mayor this evening?
Yeah, I've got one more if I can. Climate action plan, do we have an update on that?
Yes, the climate action plan, the work for the committee has been completed. So the final version of the climate action committee or climate action report has been presented to the staff. It's currently under staff review. As you can imagine, it's a large document, extensive, and there are a good number of potential impacts on city operations across really the scope of all of our operations. So we thought it appropriate that staff members have an opportunity to review the content of the final report. At that time, once we receive comment from staff, we'll make edits as necessary and then be prepared to communicate with council during a special meeting that is going to be announced by the council president later this evening, I think for August 5th, right, Mark?
August 5th, yes.
August 5th. So on that evening, we'll be pleased to present that report to City Council and provide a presentation. Amanda Giambi, members of the Citizen Committee that served, will provide some high-level highlights of that report, and then council can certainly begin to digest it, and we together can consider appropriate responses or actions.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. Municipal Administrator, Ms. Tretter.
Good evening, Council. As the mayor mentioned, Firefly Nights is on Friday evening, and there will be associated road closures and parking restrictions in place to support that festival. So we will be putting out a press release that reminds folks of this, but it's the same pattern that we've been using over the last several years successfully for this festival. That's all I have this evening, subject to your questions.
Are there any questions for Ms. Tretter this evening? Okay, thank you very much. City Attorney, Mr. Brown.
Good evening. No report.
Are there any questions for Mr. Brown this evening? All right, thank you. Public Infrastructure Director, Mr. O'Connell.
Just wanted to update you on this award that we received. It's a very nice plaque that we got from American Public Power Association for the EF Scattergood System Achievement Award. I brought it in case you want to take your picture with it later. You can publicize that if you'd like.
You anticipate me.
Well, if you'd like to, it's fine. It's a rare award or recognition that APPA gives out each year at their national conference, and Jim went for us this year to receive the award. But it recognizes utilities that are customer-oriented and are doing things to continually progress and make their systems better, such as, so for us, it was in renewable resources, our battery energy storage project out at the wastewater plant, and community engagement through things like our online outage reporting or the CRC outage reporting system that we implemented, customer meter data that they can get access to, live data, Efficiency Smart, EcoSmart Choice program, our MuniPal program that offers a way for customers to help other customers of low income that can't pay their utility bills, as well as system achievement awards like RP3, Excellence and Reliability Awards, and the Smart Energy Provider Awards. So all those things went together to put our application in for this award. They only give out 1 or 2 per year at each conference, and this year they did give out 2. So we were one of those utilities that was able to receive the award. So it's a pretty high designation or award, I guess I would say, for within public power. There's over 2,000 public power systems in the country, and we were selected this year to receive this one. So pretty nice achievement. This really involves not just the electric division. I would like to emphasize that it really covers a wide net of different divisions, like the utility business office is directly involved with this work, with the billing side and the metering side and customer engagement side. So it's not just focused on what the electric division does itself, but many others. So that's all I have for you, unless you have other questions.
Are there any questions for Mr. O'Connell? I have one question.
Sure.
The 100 block of Pearl Street.
Yes.
What can you tell me about that?
The sewer work is completed. I believe the water work is almost completed, if not already completed. They're doing services now. The next phase will be to do curb, sidewalk, and asphalt repairs. I believe that work is scheduled to be done by the end of August, if I remember the schedule from engineering correctly. So when we're done, the idea will be that the water, the sewer, all the underground work will be completed, and we'll end up with new sidewalks, new pavement. When we were doing the work, there's a lot of sand out there on Pearl Street, and so a lot of the asphalt base that was the base for the asphalt that was out there before was compromised because the sand kept falling in while we were trenching the street out. So it's almost a complete rebuild of Pearl Street. But we're almost at the end of the finish line here. Just need a few more weeks to get it buttoned up.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Council committee reports.
Mr. President,
Mr. Robinette.
the Finance Committee did meet this evening. We received the second quarter update from the Finance Director. There were no issues or concerns, and as the Mayor said earlier, the net result of the meeting was that at mid-year, the city is in a sound financial position.
Okay. And as was touched on briefly in comments by the mayor, there will be a committee of the whole meeting on August 5th at 6 p.m. And the purpose of this meeting is that we will be presented with the Climate Action Plan. So that will be at 6 o'clock on August 5th. That brings us to the reading of legislation. Cody?
Legislation for first reading. Ordinance number 9215 for first reading. Ordinance providing supplemental appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio during the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2024 and ending December 31, 2024.
Mr. President?
Mr. Robinette.
I move to suspend the rules and give ordinance 9215 its second and third readings.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Jody?
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbaugh,
Yes.
Odericio,
Yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Dennis.
Yes.
All right, the rules are suspended for ordinance 9215.
Ordinance number 9215 for second and third readings. Ordinance providing supplemental appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Bowling Green, Ohio during the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2024 and ending December 31, 2024.
Mr. President,
Mr. Robinette,
I move to adopt ordinance 9215.
Second.
properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay. Jody?
Hollenbaugh,
Yes.
Odericio,
Yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Harold.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 9215 is adopted.
Legislation for second reading. Ordinance number 9211 for second reading. Ordinance amending and adopting Chapter 33 of the codified ordinances of the city of Bowling Green, Ohio regarding employment policies. Legislation for third reading. Ordinance number 9206 for third reading. Ordinance authorizing the municipal administrator to enter into contracts for professional services for programming, site due diligence, analysis, concept design, financial projections, and other related activities related to improvements for the city's safety facilities.
Mr. President,
Mr. Robinette,
I move to adopt ordinance 9206.
Second.
properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Jody?
Odericio,
Yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbaugh.
Yes. Ordinance 9206 is adopted.
Ordinance number 9207 for third reading. Ordinance authorizing the Utilities Director to execute a construction agency agreement with the Wood County Port Authority, request qualifications, and enter into contracts for engineering services for utility and right-of-way improvements for the expansion of Wood Bridge Business Park.
I would like to move that we adopt ordinance 9207.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Jody?
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbaugh,
Yes.
Odericio.
Yes.
All right, ordinance 9207 is adopted. Is there any other business to come before council this evening? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.